Magnets. Greetings, love warriors. Greetings, love icons. How is everyone tonight? Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm really looking forward to getting into this topic with you guys. Fault versus responsibility. Fault versus responsibility is what we are talking about tonight. There are many things that we're going to face in this life that it's not our fault, but is our responsibility. Okay, is our responsibility, right? So, before we get into that, I do want to take time to introduce myself for those who may be joining us on our Tuesday night segment, Attracting Love Energy, for the first time. My name is Pangia Northstar. I am an energy healer, an attraction coach, a teacher. I facilitate energetic healing through Reiki, through sound therapy, through visualization, through other forms of energetic readings such as oracle or tarot card readings or intuitive readings. And I love what I do. You guys, I don't plan on being on here long tonight. I have had quite a day, quite a last 7 to 14 days, and a long week ahead. So I'm not going to stay on here long tonight, but I do want to get into this topic with you all. Before we get into fault versus responsibility, which is really, really important to understand. You all, really, really important to not choose that escape route of, oh, okay, this is not my fault, so therefore I don't have to deal with it, right? Before we get into that, quickly, I also want to remind everybody we have a class coming up on this weekend, the 13th, October 13th. We have a class coming up, Master Your Magnetism. Master Your Magnetism is the first class that I have intentionally written that is for both women and men. It is designed to reach both women and men at the same time, okay? So some of my classes in the past have been very woman-centric. But we do include the guys when the guys are in the room. And we try to be conscious of that. We are conscious of that. But this class is very special because it gives some very good examples for both women and men, right? And it's important also, we want to be conscious of each other's journey, right? If you're a woman, you want to be conscious and sensitive to, aware of the journey of men and their spiritual evolution, right? Because that is an aspect of emotional intelligence and vice versa. Men need to be conscious of and sensitive to the spiritual journey of women because that is an element of emotional intelligence, right? So Master Your Magnetism is a class that is about, it's going to give you the basics, very much gives you the basics of, what is vibration, what is frequency, how do we utilize our frequency to our benefit, how do we intentionally utilize our frequencies to attract the things that we desire into our lives, right? We're going to go deeper with how to do that, and not only love relationships, romantic, familial, humanitarian, compassionate love, but also in friendship and business, right? We're going to do a broader, more in-depth explanation, okay? So it's very, very important. We're also going to be talking about, mastering both your masculine and feminine energy, right? Because we all have both masculine and feminine energy, right? So, typically, we're thinking of feminine energy, divine feminine energy for women, and divine masculine energy for men, but we all have both. And we all need to know how to utilize both energies and when to deploy both energies, right? We need to learn how to step into and lead with whatever energy is necessary, whatever energy is appropriate in any given moment, right? And if you have not mastered your magnetism, if you are not the master of your own energies, then how do you do that, right? So, Master Magnetism is going to be a great class. It's virtual, 3 hours, live class. This Saturday from 10 a.m. Central to 1 p.m. Central. If you're in Eastern time zone, that's 11 to 2. If you're not able to be there in real time, that is okay because you can request the replay. Okay? So look for the registration on Eventbrite. Master Your Magnetism is the name of the class, Master Your Magnetism. So look for the event on Eventbrite, and I'm also going to be adding the link to the comment box here at the end of this video. Okay, so let's get into it, you all. Our topic tonight is fault versus responsibility, and the intention for this segment, as well as hola Dabney, hola, how are you this evening? So glad you could join us. So the intention for tonight is every Tuesday night, our segment Attracting Love Energy is to teach us how to attract the energy of love into our lives for the purpose of healing, for abundance, for forgiveness, for self-acceptance, right? The frequency of love, the vibration of love is the same as the vibration of abundance, of creativity, right? Of forgiveness, of unconditional acceptance of yourself. This is all the same energy, okay? Love energy is the energy that opens the door for healing, for purification, okay? So guys, watch this. So love energy, when we think of love, we think of the heart chakra, right? And our energy, the energy in our what we call the biomagnetic field, and we'll get more into this in our class on Saturday, Master Your Magnetism. And I keep saying Saturday, it's Sunday. The 13th is Sunday. This Sunday the 13th. We'll get more into this, but the direction that the energy flows, healthy energy is flowing energy through our biomagnetic field is up from our root chakra up through our other chakras, which you can see here to my right. Here you have your root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, and crown is the 7 basic chakras. It goes up, out the top of our biomagnetic sphere, or our aura, what we would call aura, up, out, and around, and down, back up through our chakras. So it's going up like this, up, out, and around. Okay, up, out, around, and down. Okay, so from the heart space, that energy flows up. The next chakra is the throat space. The throat chakra is known as the gateway of purification. The gateway of purification. Okay, so the way through which we are able to purify our energetic field is also through that love energy, right? It's coming from the heart. Love energy is associated with the heart. Okay, so it's flowing up and out. When we think of the throat chakra, we think of expression, right? The throat chakra is not only about the throat, it is about our nasal passages and ears, as well as it rules our hands, right? Because these are modes of expression. When you express yourself, you feel cleansed, you feel clear, right? Your clearing the energy, clearing whatever blockage may have been there, right? And you express your emotions, you feel lighter, right? So love energy is very much associated with purification, right? This, it comes from the heart up to the throat to be expressed, to be purified. Okay, so this is very, very important to understand the function of your energies, your energy centers, your chakras that we just named here. Okay, but love energy is the energy that just flows from the earth itself, that flows from source and provides for all of us. Source provides for all of us through nature, food, air, all the things that we need to sustain ourselves on the planet. That is done out of love, right? So we can never underestimate the power of love, right? And this can just be regular compassion. Many of us, every time we hear love, we think of romance. And that's not the only type of love there is. It's very, very important that we recognize other types of love, such as friendship love and family love, humanitarian love, even the love of your pets. Don't just think of romantic love, because what happens when you don't have romance in your life? You're not going to have romance in your life all the time. There are going to be times in your life where you're going to be, single and maybe not even seeing anybody. Maybe not even talking to anybody that you're interested in. And you're going to tell yourself, oh, I don't have love in my life at all. How lonely are you going to feel? Right? You're going to oh, nobody loves me. There's no love in my life. Right? And the human spirit just dries up. Just dries up. Love is hydration for the soul. Love is hydration for the soul. And the human spirit just dries up without love in your life. And if you're telling yourself you don't have any love at all, just because you don't have a romantic interest right now, then you're not going to be attracting that kind of love into your life. What you're telling yourself you don't have, you're telling the universe you don't want. So therefore you won't attract it. But when you remind yourself, I do have love in my life. I got my family, I got my friends, I got my pets, right? I love myself. And you're exuding that love energy all the time, then you're going to draw more love energy into your life. And that's how that works. What you put out is what you're attracting. Okay? So that's why I love to talk about love, you guys. So, any rate, so it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. And I'm not saying responsibility tonight. I'm saying a hyphenated word, responsibility, your ability to respond, right? Many things we're going to come across in life, many challenges are going to be challenges we did not bring on ourselves, right? For example, many of us may have been born into some really difficult families, some dysfunctional families that don't have a lot of glue, okay? But if you are, the person that is watching this video that is a part of the conscious community, it's very likely that you are the person in your family that is the way shower, okay? You are the person in your family who is the peacemaker, right? And you guys, I see people come into the room, but your name doesn't automatically pop up for me. Please give me a greeting and let me know you're here so I can acknowledge you. It's very possible that you are the way shower, the person that's going to sound the alarm, right? You are the chain breaker in your family. You are the person that is the peacemaker. It's going to say, you know what, we can do better than this. We need to do things differently. We can treat each other better. We can communicate better. We can resolve conflict better. We can take care of one another better. We can come together better, right? It's very likely that you as the person in your family who's a part of the conscious community, that's you. That's your role in the family. And that is whether we like it or not, because we don't ask for these roles. Whether you like it or not, That is a responsibility. That is a form of leadership. That is a form of leadership because you are leading the way in showing an example of evolution, of self realization, right? Of spiritual development in your family. You may be the only person in your family to go and seek therapy. You may be the only person in your family to meditate. You may be the only person in your family that studies things of a spiritual nature. You may be the only person in your family reaching for more, or the first person, right? And then the more you go for it, and the more your family witnesses your transformation, they may also begin to wake up. Your family may begin to change. They may begin to wake up, right? They may begin to ask you questions. They may begin to look to you for answers, but this takes time. This takes time, right? And I'm hearing more and more people say now, more than I ever have, just because there's such a spiritual awakening happening on the planet. I'm hearing more and more people say that their family is paying attention to what they're doing and that they're able to see positive effects on their family because of their own impact on their family. Whereas before, um, in times before this spiritual awakening began, if you were the only person in your family that was spiritual, right, you may be the black sheep or the outcast of the family. And they may just go, oh, he or she is crazy. He or she is different. Oh, bless their heart, right? That's what we say in the South. Oh, bless their heart. It's not always necessarily a nice thing for somebody to say, bless your heart, right? They're just like, poor little, poor little tink tink. He or she is crazy. Right? But because we are now in this time of this great spiritual awakening, right? We are in this era of evolution. People who are doing their work are able to make a greater impact because the energy is now here to support that. Now, am I telling you that you need to go and, try to shake your whole family and, preaching and, just hitting people upside the head with, this new knowledge that you have? Nope. No, that is not your job, right? What your job is to do your work, to do your work. Your spiritual journey is your primary responsibility. And people who are in your sphere, listen to this is very important. People who are in your sphere, who are supposed to be in your sphere, will catch the overflow of your healing, right? Your primary responsibility is your healing journey. Those who are in your sphere and belong in your sphere will catch the overflow. Period. That's it. That's how that goes. If they come to you and ask questions, yes, answer the questions to the best of your ability, or point them toward a good book, point them toward somebody who has, a really good channel that resonates with you. Point them toward the resources that help you to wake up. But you don't have to, hound people and drive the point home. We don't need to do that because that just like runs people off, right? What you do want to do is allow them to witness your transformation. As your energy changes, right? As they notice you talking different, reacting different than you would have reacted if they know you that you used to would have gone off when certain things happen. You used to be a hothead, right? You used to be the person to tell everybody where to go, right? Or you used to have very short patience. You used to be selfish, whatever the case may be, is they see you change, right? As your aura changes, your energy changes, you feel different, people will notice and they'll say to you, something is different. What's going on with you? You seem happier. You seem so peaceful, right? I want some of what you've got. I've literally had people say that to me. I want some of what you're on. Give me some of that. What's so different about you? You know, and people in my life who and in my family who don't even acknowledge, you know, spirituality or anything, you know, having to do with source or with God, wouldn't even recognize religion, have said to me, something's different about you. Something has changed. Like I can't put my finger on it, but something's different about you, right? So people around us will see that change, right? So you're going to come up against all types of things in your life, and one of the biggest can be your family situation. Don't don't even think about it. Don't even allow that to weigh heavy on your mind. Your family may be the least likely to let you know that they're taking your lead, right? But some will say something to you, and you will see that what you're doing now, you know, for this generation has the biggest opportunity to make an impact. This generation of star seeds and way showers, healers, chosen ones, whatever you want to call it, we have the opportunity to make the biggest impact on our family than ever before, just because the energy is here on the planet to support that. Okay. So another thing, I'm gonna give another type of example of something that may not be your fault, but it's definitely your responsibility. And I'm saying responsibility, guys, is in your ability to respond. And I want you to think of responsibility as an opportunity to respond. And another example I want to use, because it's about to get cold, you all, some people really suffer, really suffer in the colder seasons. In fall and winter, when we're getting less sunlight, right? Some people really suffer with what in the mental health community, what is called seasonal affective disorder. Okay, so this is a seasonal type of depression. Okay, some of us really suffer really badly with that. It's that we're not in enough sun. It's that we're not out, you know, being as social. We're less likely, many of us, most of us, to be out in nature and connecting to nature, you know, doing any form of grounding during this time of year. And if you are a person that, you know, suffers and struggles through winter months, that's totally, it's not your fault, right? Not your fault. But it is your responsibility to handle that, right? To respond to that, to figure a way to not spiral during this time of year, to still be effective with the things that you are responsible for. Guys, I'm like fixing the lipstick during my video, yep. But that's still your responsibility. You have the ability to respond to that in a way that is directly effective, right? If this is you, I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to give you a handful of things right now that you can do. Okay. You can begin now increasing your exercise. You want to increase your metabolism. Begin to raise your metabolism now by increasing your exercise. Another thing, something else you can do, and the reason I'm saying metabolism, let me be clear about that. Seasonal affective disorder is directly related to this chakra here. Look over my shoulder, solar plexus chakra. Okay, it's located from your navel to your sternum. Okay, that's the location. Okay, it has to do with your confidence, with your ego, with your personal power, with your ambition, with your discipline. This is your personal power grid. And the organ of your solar plexus is where your body stores the energy you get from the light of the sun. During these winter months, you get less sunshine. Okay, the entire earth. Well, I'll say, this hemisphere gets less sunshine, right? So even nature goes dormant and is not in that lush green phase because there's less sunshine, right? So you see the trees losing their leaves and going dormant for fall and winter. Our bodies want to do the same thing, right? But if you're not in a position in your life where you can change your work schedule to go with the flow of nature, which is our most, natural thing to do, if you're not in a position to do that, what you need to do is ramp up your metabolism, right? The solar plexus chakra is an energy center that corresponds with our digestive system, okay? Our digestive system is one of the organs that that energy center corresponds with, okay? So cleansing your digestive system and raising your metabolism is one of the ways that you can fight seasonal affective disorder. There is a huge correlation between our digestive health and our mental health that is not talked about a lot, but I encourage you to go and do some research about it. I highly encourage you to go do some research about it. Okay, improve your nutrition, raise your metabolism with exercise, right? And I'm also going to encourage you to do visualizations that help you to tap into your personal power grid, right? Your personal power is your ability to affect change in your own life, right? So I encourage you to do some visualizations, to visualize times in your life when you have been very intentional with creating change in your own life and have been successful with that. Use your imagination to tap into how great that felt, how wonderful that felt when you decided to make a change in your life and you were successful in doing so. Okay, I want you to begin to revisit that in your mind in meditation. Okay, and imagine yourself, you can imagine yourself doing any type of challenge, even if it's something that you haven't done before, such as climbing a mountain. Imagine yourself in great detail, climbing a mountain and reaching the peak of that mountain. Imagine yourself celebrating that in your mind, right? These are visualizations you can do to raise your vibration and to tap into your personal power. Okay? These are ways that we can help fight seasonal affective disorder. And you got to start that now. Don't wait till it gets cold. Don't wait till it gets cold. If you're still having a few sunny days in your area, soak up all the sun you can in your area. Another thing you can do is sun gazing. Look up sun gazing and how to do sun gazing. Watching the sunrise, capturing the first light of day with your eyes, capturing that energy is another way to fight seasonal affective disorder. I'm telling you guys these things from personal experience. If you all don't know my story, I healed myself from over 20 years of anxiety and depression using energy healing techniques such as sound therapy, such as Reiki, such as visualization and meditation, such as plant medicine, right? Over 20 years of anxiety and depression from unresolved trauma, deep trauma. Okay, so I'm telling you guys this from personal experience. There's lots of things you're going to face in your life, things that will happen that have traumatized you that are not your fault. However, you're the only one that can resolve it. You're the only one that can change those things in your life. Is it fair? Nope. Nope. But this is what we signed up for. We signed up for a certain set of lessons, for opportunities to learn a certain set of lessons in this incarnation, right? And we don't know how those lessons are going to come, but we signed up for those lessons knowing that we had the strength to power through. Okay? So when you come across something that's just like, oh, this sucks so bad. This is, the legacy that my parents passed on to me. You know, I've never seen a healthy relationship, for example. That's not your fault. Your parents' divorce is not your fault. All the divorces, being born into a family where there's lots of divorces or unhealthy marriages, people that just decide to stay married just because they didn't want to be divorced, but their marriage sucked. The energy of their marriage sucked. They're not happy. Okay, if that's the example that you saw and you were never shown how to be a good wife or husband or father or mother, not your fault. But learning how to do differently is your responsibility. You have the ability to respond to that, right? To respond to that set of circumstances in a way that will make a difference for you and the generation coming after you, whether it's your children or your younger brothers or sisters or whoever else is impacted in your life, people that you will come in contact with, right? Don't underestimate your impact. When people see you overcome circumstances, they now have an example in their life that tells them, oh, wait a minute, just because you come from this sort of, broken circumstance, this sort of dysfunctional family, it doesn't mean you have to turn out just like that. A change can be made because I've seen it happen. I saw so and so do it. Right? When your friends and family members see you overcome difficult circumstances, they now have proof that it can be done. And that puts a choice in front of them as to whether they're going to sit in their mess or if they're going to do their best to respond differently to their own mess, their own set of circumstances and challenging difficulties in their life. Right? So, lastly, you all, I want to mention something else. Y'all, there is so much, so much going on in the media right now. This mass distraction, it's a mass distraction of the whole thing with Diddy, all right? There's the whole P. Diddy scandal right now. Y'all, not our fault. Not our fault that we're being inundated with disgusting details, right? Of horrors. Really, these are horrors that have happened to people, okay? And I want to challenge everyone who's watching this video to be mindful of how you respond to it, okay? There's lots, of jokes, and memes and, all this stuff going on about it. But I want to challenge us to respond in a way that is sensitive to and that acknowledges the trauma of the victims. Okay. And I'm saying this because I'm noticing something happen where a lot of the victims are female, but even more of the victims are male, is how it looks right now. Okay. That there's this long line of males who were victims of Diddy. Okay. And when we're talking about things that happen to, Cassie or Kim Porter, or, women that were victimized by Diddy, people are really solemn and really, serious, and really empathetic. But then when discussing the male victims, because it's so uncomfortable and there's this expectation that men are always supposed to be able to defend themselves in any situation, we tend to joke about it, right? When a lot of these men were drugged and put in very compromising positions. And I hear a lot of people joking and making insensitive comments about it and not discussing it in the same way that we discuss abuse towards women. Okay? So I'm going to challenge you to respond differently, to respond with sensitivity and with acknowledgement of the fact that these men are victims as well. Okay? And just because they are, covering it up and, may not be, forthcoming, with the nature of what happened, men have a very hard time reporting sexual assault. We're not supposed to say that on YouTube. They have a hard time reporting SA. Okay? Very hard time. Because men are always told that they're always supposed to be able to defend themselves. Right? But men can be victims too. So I want us to be more conscious of how we respond. Okay? And not making jokes about it or laughing at jokes that make fun of the victims. Okay? Because it's just not cool. It's not cool. And people who are taken advantage of and victimizing men are only emboldened when we joke about it and laugh it off. Okay? So that's it, for tonight. We do have the ability to respond differently. Okay? No, it's not our fault that we've been told that, men can't be victims of things like this. But that's not true. That's a falsehood. That is a falsehood. Okay? And I want us to be more conscious of that. Okay? When you're discussing these things, especially publicly, doesn't matter if it's publicly or privately, I want us to be more conscious of that. Okay? Conscious that this is information that's everywhere, and a lot of people are feeling very triggered by this scandal. Okay? So, if there are any questions, now is the time for questions. You can put questions in the chat. Also, another reminder I want to put out here this Sunday, the 13th, 10 Central, is our class. It is for men and for women. Master Your Magnetism. Master Your Magnetism. We're learning about exactly how our energetic fields work, exactly how manifestation works, exactly how to utilize your aura, right, which is your biomagnetic field, exactly how to utilize it to attract the things into your life that you desire to attract, how to create change in your life, how to master your own energies. This is a very good basic start because we hear so much now. Everything is energy this and frequency that and vibrations this, but most of the people you hear using those terms really don't know what they're actually saying and what they're referring to. And not going to explain it to you. Okay? But they're referring to science that is real, and it's important that we know how to use it in order to create change in our lives, in order to attract the life and the love that we truly desire. So I'm going to put the link to the class in the box here in the comment box. You also can find it on Eventbrite Master Your Magnetism. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Thank everybody who's watching this on a replay. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, download, do all the things. And join us again at the same time next Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Central for Attracting Love Energy. I don't see any comments, any questions rather popping up. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. But thank you so much for joining us. Peace, love, and light, everybody. And have a good night.